The scam is not recent. It dates back to years ago when the state's then Education Minister, Partha Chatterjee, was at the helm. Chatterjee was one of the most notable leaders in the Mamata Banerjee government, almost her right-hand man. He's currently cooling his heels in jail. So what is the teachers' recruitment scam about? It is related to irregularities in the recruitment of teachers in government schools. What Chatterjee was doing was this. He was sidelining well-deserving candidates, especially those who cleared exams on pure merit. Instead, he gave the jobs to candidates with lower marks, but those who had the ability to pay him / give him a bribe. Chatterjee was soon arrested after the Enforcement Directorate recovered a considerable sum from his close aide Arpita Mukherjee's house. Now, when we say considerable sum, we mean 50 crore rupees. Not just that, there was gold, there was mobile phones, there were foreign currency, and there were deeds for many, many flats. Partha Chatterjee has since been arrested. He has been in jail for over 100 days. In fact, he recently applied for bail citing his illness, but there has been no relief that has been given to him, at least for now. The CBI, as you know, is investigating the case. Mamata Banerjee's first reaction to the scam was to call it political vendetta by the BJP. But when embarrassing pictures of the seizure started tumbling out, she simply had no choice. She said she had no clue what Partha was doing and then went ahead and sacked him. Today, for the first time, she has almost admitted that what happened was a mistake. Listen in.
করতে গেলে যদি কেউ ভুল করে সেটাকে শুধরে নেওয়া দরকার। কাজ করতে গেলে ভুল তো হয়। রাস্তায় হাঁটতে গেলে আমরা হোঁচট খাই না? হোঁচট খেলে পায়ে একটু লাগে, তারপরে সেটাকে ঠিক করে নিতে হয়, দেখে হাঁটতে হয়। সেই জন্য মনে রাখবেন, যদি কোনো ভুলভ্রান্তি কেউ করে তার জন্য তা শুধরে নেওয়া হবে, তার জন্য তার আইনের পথে চলবে। কিন্তু কিছু লোক যারা বাংলাকে ভালোবাসে না।
The question is the TMC on the back foot when it comes to scams now? Let me quickly go across to our guests who are joining us this evening, and to all my guests and to all our viewers. This is going to be a short, crisp chat, not a long one. Priyanka Tibrewal, BJP Kolkata spokesperson, good to have you on the show. Sandip Ghose is an author. Professor Mondol is spokesperson of the TMC, and Smita Gupta is a journalist. Professor Mondol, how do we interpret this statement by Mamata Banerjee? She almost seems to say, yes, what happened was a mistake, and maybe now it's time to move on.
So I do not think she was talking about the scam. She has been saying for the long period of time that one or two person in the government can do some wrong, which needs to be corrected, which needs to be rectified. And the courts are there simply just to correct the wrongs of the government. And in this particular case, I think two of the candidates got job because of the court orders. Now, my fundamental question that I have been asking for the last few weeks, even in the local media, if the two persons can get job because of the court order, since you are mentioning about the merits, what about the 200 who are agitating? By the same merit, by the same logic, if these people are deprived of their rightful claim of the job, they should also be given the job by the court orders, because the matter has been pending in the court for the last 6 years after the recruitment was done in 2016. This was the case that dates back to 2017. So for the last 6 years, if the agitating students for whom we have got all the symptoms, because most of them are democratically agitating in a particular place and the government has not disturbed them for the last 1.5 years, if they have got the merit, their case is in the court, let the pronounce the verdict. The government is there to give the job. And if there are any mistakes with the SSC, the commission...
Mr. Mondol, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is very simple.
No, what are you saying?
There can be illegality. Illegality doesn't mean that there is a corruption. All the corruptions are illegal, but all illegalities cannot be corruption. It has to be proven by a court of law with a different kind of court. Because you have a trial court, you have CBI, ED, that's a criminal matter. But there can be civil illegality. Prima facie in 2 cases, I repeat, prima facie in 2 cases, court has said that there is civil illegality was there, and 2% got the job. Mamata was referring to that civil illegal.
The way you speak, it's almost like, Mr. Mondol, that you are defending Partha Chatterjee. Despite the fact that he has been thrown out of your party, despite the fact that all those bundles of cash have come out, it almost seems that you're defending him at one level.
I'm defending 60,000 candidates who have got their jobs out of merit. Could be problems with 100, 200, that has to be decided by the court. I'm defending 60,000 meritorious candidates who got job by dint of their merit, not any individual, whether Partha Chatterjee or a person who is fingering in the...
Okay. So the way I understand what you're saying, and I'll get Priyanka Tibrewal in this, is scam tha, lekin chota scam tha. That's what you're saying. That is the understanding that I'm getting. Priyanka, would you want to come in here and respond to what Professor Mondol is saying? And how you interpret the Chief Minister's statements?
I just heard Mr. Mondol speaking, and as if he meant that nothing has ever happened at all in Bengal, and whatever you are showing on media is a farce. So nothing took place. That is what he meant to say. Now, let me also remind him that there are orders of the High Court on which the investigation had started. And not just that, there are parts in the order where it says that this is a scam and this has happened, and that is the reason CBI is also now investigating in details. Now, Mamata Banerjee, by her statement, is trying to, obliterate the deeds of her party ministers, whatever they have done. The malice was there. They hoaxed the people of Bengal, and now she's trying to cover it up, calling it a mistake. So, scams were quite explicit. And now when you call them mistakes, now then it reminds me that starting from Sharda, Rose Valley, Narda, TET, SSC, if all are mistakes, then this government has done nothing except making mistakes. See, I am not saying anything because we very well know that CBI will unravel. More truth, more scams will come up, and more names who are masterminds behind this will also come out. So that is the reason if you throw out one person from your party, that won't stop. Because what they have done is a group job together. Because without the knowledge of the government, if there is so much of scam in the last 11 years, then it is a government full of scams and nothing else. They have done nothing at all. See, they have looted people
Mr.
today.
Mondol,
that is why there is a current video which has just come out today. Allow me, just give me 30 more seconds. There is a fresh video which has come out only today.
Go ahead.
Where a leader of TMC from Birbhum, Cynthia, is seen telling a job seeker that I will return your money I had taken from you to give you job, 3.5 lakh rupees. That video has only come out today. So you tell me only 1 or 2 are bad, rest are good. This is what Mamata Banerjee is trying to say.
Can I rebut?
Mr. Mondol, do we believe? I mean, yes, and I just want to quickly add my question here. Tell me, as a reasonable thinking person and any viewer who is watching this story, whether in the state of West Bengal or somewhere else, this is your right-hand man. I'm just keeping this focus to the teachers' recruitment span. This is your right-hand man. He's been your right-hand man, your close aide for years now. He's involved in this massive scam. Some 50 crore rupees in cash is tumbling out from his close aide's residence, etc., etc. And the TMC and Mamata Banerjee says, I didn't know. Okay, it happened. Now you can't deny the pictures, but I didn't know. Who will believe it, sir? Mr. Mondol, who will believe it?
No, I can give the same analogy for Bijay Mallya, Mehul Joshi, and Nirav Modi as far as Mr. Modi's connection.
You speak of Bengal, you speak of everything else except Bengal.
I'm not going to give that analogy. The facts remain that whether Partha Chatterjee was right-hand man, this is media's creation. For me and for many of us, this party is blessed by Mamata Banerjee. It is now being led by Abhishek Banerjee. All rest, for me at least, are workers in the party, including he was Partha Chatterjee 6 months back. Now he is thrown out of the party, thrown out of the government. My friend was talking about Sharda scam. What is your CBI doing? Has it been proven this is a scam? And Narda, Mr. Shuvendra Adhikari, you sure?
How many people went to the jail? How many of your ministers were in the jail? For how long? For how long? Without doing anything, they were sitting in the jail. That is what you're trying to say? That the judiciary didn't grant them bail?
Your
So
debate
there
is
was
one of
enough
the
material
Priyanka,
given, and that was the reason they
we
were
don't
in
need
the
to do
jail.
this.
Your debate
We
is
don't
one
need
of
to
the
do
most.
this. We don't need to speak over each other. Sandip Ghosh,
Let's raise our
you don't.
voice.
We don't need to
Narda
speak over each other. It's
can
always get everyone's
Narda,
point of view in and listen to everyone.
Your principal leader of Bengal was involved in Narda. Neither the court, the Honorable High Court has said so far that SSC is a scam. Only investigation is going on. You have to wait for the verdict. Yes.
Mr.
I
Ghosh,
repeat,
would you want to
there
come
could
in
be
here?
some
Okay, we'll have to wait for the verdict. TK, Mr. Mondol, let Sandeep. As I said, this is a quick chat. Sandeep Ghosh, you are smiling. You're thinking to yourself, all debates are like this. Only political spokespersons will come and say their Gizapita lines. You are smiling. Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling because, I have a very simple mind. Don't understand all this complicated court logic, etc. What I know is, Mr. Mondol compared Mr. Partha Chatterjee with Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya, etc. I'm not too sure whether the comparison stands because Mr. Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya were not associated, neither the number two for Mr. Modi, nor were they associated with Mr. Modi for 50 years. I know for a fact Mr. Mondol is much younger to me. Partha Chatterjee and Mrs. Mamata Banerjee's relationship go back when they were in college. From that time, he was a senior leader, Chhatra Parishad leader, when she was in the women's wing. So it's not today's relation. It is not a fact that he's number two. He was not only de facto, but he was named number two in the ministry. So to compare, Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi with him comes to me as a bit odd. Secondly, West Bengal people has been quite used to hearing it's a or a mistake. CPIM government did earlier, saying that Itihashik Bhul, Buddhadev Bhattacharya later on, did. And today we are hearing the same sort of thing from Mamata Banerjee and Trinamool, that these were mistakes happen, and we move forward. I don't think, in my simple understanding, this is anything to do with, 2 people recruited, 3 people recruited, or that Mrs. Mamata Banerjee's, Miss Mamata Banerjee's allusion was very clearly to the Partha Chatterjee, the finding of this, because that is obvious before the common people. Common people like me will not get into the fine point of what the court is saying or not saying. For them, that is the optics. That's the visual which is stuck. And she's saying rightly 2 things, which what I heard of her statement and I approve. First thing she said, people must use their intelligence to distinguish between fake news and real news. And I trust the intelligence of Bengalis as well as the young students whom she was addressing. They will exercise their judgment. Number 2, she said, mistakes happen. Mistakes, we'll have to move on. That's true for all our life, but which is a small mistake, which is a big mistake, which is that's a matter which I think posterity will decide. So I'm not particularly worked up about that because all of us have formed our own judgment.
Smita Gupta, very quickly, last word to you. Mamata Banerjee is a giant in West Bengal, but we've seen the BJP pushing at her. We've seen that, haven't we? Would you say her statement reflects the fact that she's perhaps on the back foot a bit because of Partha Chatterjee and what happened? I mean, the optics were awful. They were terrible.
Of course, she's on the back foot, and not just because of the Partha Chatterjee episode and the recruitment scam. You see, there are different kinds of scams. I'm not going into the details, but a recruitment scam hits, very ordinary people who are applying for government jobs in schools, and that affects a huge mass of people. So it was a terrible scam. And there is no doubt that there is absolute truth in it. However, when I heard the exchange between the BJP spokesperson and the Trinamool, all I can say is hamam mein sab nange hain. And I do agree with Mr. Sandip Ghose. Cannot compare the Vijay Mallya episode. What is comparable is the fact that Shubhendu Adhikari, who was Trinamool MLA, senior leader of the party, when he was accused of the Sharda scam, he simply walked into the BJP and he got completely whitewashed, which is why I made that
you are wrong there.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not wrong. He was
absolutely
taken.
How is she wrong there?
Absolutely. No, allow me when she's over. When she's done, I will speak. Allow me.
I'm sorry.
He
You
was
can't
also-
be a
he was
criminal
also
You know,
today.
I'm
accused by the
completely,
Sardar Chief.
I'm completely out of time.
And
You know,
Hemant
that's the
Biswa
thing.
Sharma
No,
was
ma'am,
also
With a
accused
debate
of
on
it.
Bengal, we should keep more time.
Comment. Comment.
He didn't join.
For a debate
And
with
so was Hemant Biswa Sharma.
After
He was also
he
accused
One
of
minute. I
something.
just want to
CBI
say
and all, that time he was
that
in
Mamata
Trinamool.
Banerjee is a bit nervous now because it's getting closer to her, the accusations. I think even her nephew,
absolutely,
he was also
absolutely,
accused.
it's
So
So,
therefore,
Saga-
she went
absolutely,
soft
it's
on
reached her
Prime
home.
Minister
It has
Narendra
reached
Modi.
her home. It's reached her doorstep.
Shreya, can I get 10 seconds?
Gentlemen
What you define
and
as
ladies.
nervousness,
Bengali
I
got
define
No,
as
I'm
sagacity.
completely out of
Gave
time.
them so many posts, they didn't
Out
speak a
of
single
time.
word.
What you define as
And now,
nervousness, I define as
you
sagacity.
Ladies
became a
and
minister.
gentlemen.
For that time, you knew that he was absolutely correct. He wasn't wrong.
Okay.
And now once
Okay,
he's
we
in
leave
PhD,
it
he's
there.
wrong for you.
What you described as nervousness, I described as sagacity. I'll leave it there for the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.